making a pledge to give at least 50%, although a lot of them name a larger number, but give at least 50% during their lifetime or at death to philanthropy. And then I encourage them to explain how they got to that decision, why they're doing it. And we get some magnificent letters, and I tell the people I talk to that the letters are enormously important, because somebody 10, 20, 50 years from now is going to read that, like maybe Bill or Melinda or I've read about Carnegie or Rockefeller or Roosevelt or you name it. You never know what's going to strike a chord. It's like a lawyer making an argument. I mean, you try to name 20 reasons why your client isn't guilty, you know. Even though you may only think one or two of them are maybe that good.
You want to make sure you got the one covered that might respond to.
And you know, all you got to do is hit a chord on one of them.
Bitcoin reminds me of what Oscar Wilde said about fox hunting. He said it was the pursuit of the uneatable by the unspeakable.
Being put on the comp committee of American corporations, as I've said, they're looking for Chihuahuas and not Great Danes or Dobermans. Yeah. And I hope I'm not insulting any of my friends that are on comp committees.
You're insulting the dogs.
No.
I think there is global warming, man-caused. I'm like Freeman Dyson, the physicist. I think a lot of people pretend to know more about what's going to happen in the future. More people pretend to know than really know.
But you believe,
and they're very cocksure.
But you believe climate change is a reality, and therefore...
I think global warming is a reality, and that climate effects are quite possible. But I think a lot of the people who are howling hardly know their left hand from their right.
Bill, what do you think about it? And do we need to start? Well, I think Berkshire's already done.
Whatever you do, don't
howl. I would love to buy a share of Berkshire Hathaway. Unfortunately, my cash flow is a little tight now. Why doesn't Berkshire?
We got a loan company too. I will guarantee you that farmland over 100 years is going to be gold, and so are equities.
Why do you think gold bugs get so irate? Because they really come out.
Yeah, it's very interesting. If you go on CNBC and say that bonds are kind of a poor investment, you know, people don't get mad at you. You don't even hear from the Treasury. I mean, you can knock almost any investment, and people may get a little irritated. But when you talk about gold, and of course that says something about their motivations for ownership. They want people to agree with them. They want everybody to get so scared they run to a cave with gold. And caves might be a better investment than gold. I mean, at least they're not producing more caves all the time.
But still, he believes that the 1% is being hammered unfairly. Do you agree?
Well, I don't see anybody in the 1% that wants to leave that category and join the 99% because they're feeling persecuted. No.
Question that was submitted by Twitter. Do you support redistribution of wealth? Charlie?
Not much.
Warren?
More than Charlie.
I gave a talk to some student at Harvard asked me to talk last year. He said, you know, who should I go to work for? I said, well, go to work for whomever you admire the most. And got a call from the dean about 2 weeks later. He said, what'd you tell these kids? He said, they're all becoming self-employed.
Charlie, what is the greatest measure of success, in your opinion?
Well, I think people try to succeed in different ways. Everybody would like to have a nice family life, or almost everybody. And a lot of people share our passion for getting to be a little wiser every day all your life. There's just enormous pleasure in wising up steadily. And as I said at the meeting, we're so lucky to be so ignorant that we have all these wonderful opportunities for improving ourselves. And they continue on into old age.
Bill,
we have massive stupidity yet to go.
What are we going to be surprised has barely changed 50 years from now?
Human nature. Yeah, people will be doing exactly the same foolish things they do now. Berkshire Hathaway looked like a cheap stock. It was a terrible business.
What was your ambition then? Now you have a vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, I started out by thinking I was a textile expert, but, I was disabused of that notion fairly fast. I really did. I thought, what do these guys know about making textiles? They've only been doing it a few hundred years. I mean, the Egyptians, I think, figured out how to weave. Just turn me loose in the plant and see what happens. So anyway, what happened was right at that period, the textile business was good for a very short period of time. And so I was like a duck floating on a pond when it was raining. I was going up in the world, and I thought it was because I was flapping my wings, but it was that damn rain that was coming down. And then when it quit raining, I mean, I found out, what do I know? Right. Yeah. And then we went into other businesses. I can actually make a promise to society that 99.7% of what I have when I die will either go to philanthropy or to the federal government. I would prefer that it would go to philanthropy. I think it actually will accomplish more utility if it goes to be used by some smart people in philanthropy than if it simply reduces the federal debt by $100 billion or something when I die. I don't think it makes a damn bit of difference. You know, whether the federal debt is 100 billion higher or lower, it won't change anything in the world. And at present days, it doesn't really save them anything because they can borrow 100 billion. It doesn't cost them anything anyway. But that condition won't prevail. But I would not regard it. I'm just talking personally. I'm not advocating this public policy, but I wouldn't if they took it all. You know, it would not bother me. I mean,
I guarantee it won't bother you.
Yeah, that's what Charlie was. Charlie says you won't know. But